That's the number one brand. Drink blue water and mind my business. I go drink blue water and mind my business. Me and you join in the blue water crew. The taste, the vibe, blue water is the truth. When the hot sun come, I drink blue water to cool me down. When you see we out on the road and we going hard, take a sip of blue water. That's the number one. I go drink blue water and mind my business.
And good morning. Welcome to Vaval Central. Let me say good morning to Teddy. Morning, Teddy.
Good morning, Iwan. Good morning to all the Vavalists out there listening, the carnivalists, the Vavalists. The carnivalists are people who like carnival, right? Vavalists are people who follow Vaval Central. Not so, Iwan?
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
We have a guest this morning, Manchester Casaball, legend in his own right, two-time OECS Soca Monarch winner, and a producer, composer of big tunes through the years. Good morning, Manchester.
Good morning, and it's such a pleasure to be here on this highly esteemed show, Vaval Central. You've been doing it for years, and it's amazing. It's a pleasure to be here. Big up, St. Lucia.
Right. What are you this morning, a carnivalist or Vavalist? Which one? Both?
I am a Vavalist because I'm here on Vaval Central.
Nice.
Vaval Central.
Manchester serious this morning. Good morning, Manchester, and big respect, as you say, immense contribution to the growth of the art form here on St. Lucia, and a winner of prestigious titles himself, a composer and multi-talented. Will speak about his different exploits as a player in the music industry, not only carnival but the wider music industry, and indeed the proliferation of social media here on St. Lucia. He was far and away a pioneer, one of the first to truly exploit it for the proper purposes. The weekend was packed and bumper as we get ready for the week. The action and the tension mounting. The carnival season appeared so long and so distant, the climax, it appears to be approaching hurriedly now, as is often the case. Manchester, catch me without my glasses, boy. Manchester must tell me.
Yeah, boy.
You just tell me when I, on the IG, give me, oh yeah, what? Just tell me when I come already. Yeah.
I'll let you know.
Yeah,
I'll let you know.
So, right,
yeah.
so I can
he's there now. Teddy Francis,
nice.
He's there.
Morning. So, Isai Hall started the action going on the weekend with his collaboration with Dax and the Blacks, his series of bringing Calypso to the people. Again, resounding success and great response. Isai hoping to go out to the different districts. View Fort, certainly one of those being looked at. He's collaborating with Donneville on that. A lot more to be heard. And Isai Hall, again, in great form over the weekend over at the Fire on tent. Donneville was on duty at the South tent. Two outstanding talents, far and away the best MC, certainly for our purpose and for our genre and this aspect of the culture here on St. Lucia. We did touch on some other areas in the build-up. As we said, very good crowds, very positive crowds, I find, very positive in their reaction, very supportive, very keen to support the art form. A really refreshing feeling over in the Calypso tents. Healthy crowds for both Tony Wilkinson with his South Calypso tent, a good outing again, and also a good outing, good crowd and good showing on stage, good diversity, good range of music. A big up to Face Calix, who carries the load, who really carries the brunt of the burden as far as the songwriting is concerned, the composition, and Tony Wilkinson, tent leader, doing a lot of the arranging and ensuring that the show is as tight as it is. They deserve kudos this morning, as the case with Cheryl, I almost call her Cheryl and Colors. Cheryl Pitkin leading the pack, where they still Cheryl and Colors in our books forever, the Calypso contribution. Cheryl, Dylan, Lydia and company putting the Fire on together. Again, a good show, and the crowd supporting from the start, really helping the ambience over in the tent. A few notes, of course, to the tent leaders, some things that could be worked on. We'll touch on that throughout the program. We're looking forward, indeed, to the Schools Calypso. That's a big one, a bumper one, come Friday, the Nursery of Calypso. Important, that's where a lot of the talent being nurtured, and so the build-up is on to Friday. They're at the VG Complex, trying a new venue, expanding, showing respect for the growing art form and the importance of School Calypso. That will be for the first time at the VG Complex come Friday, and that will be carried live on NTN, but it doesn't stop the support from both adults and children. It wouldn't stop their attendance. They would be coming forward to support the youngsters in a big way. If we need a reminder, the wave of talent coming through, of young talent coming through now in the senior Calypso competition, has a lot to do with the talent, of course, being birthed over at the school level, and so emphasizing the likes of Tika Rowe, the likes of Ricardo, the likes of Jürgen coming through before them, of course, the legends like Tricky coming through the school system, emphasizing, if there was a need to, the importance of that competition. Groseley Carnival. They're excited. They're going on the Rodney Bay Highway and coming into Groseley. Sunday is a big day. All eyes, all focus on Groseley. That's the carnival this weekend. Sunday, they start just after midday and they'll be going along the highway a bit into Groseley, but back onto the highway towards Gaiety, where they're hoping to have a big climactic jump up their collaboration with Ultimate Soca Tent. That's a lot more detail on that, but Groseley, the parade of bands, then the big jump up in the streets, and eventually the Gaiety Gardens jam at the end of the whole parade. A big weekend for Groseley. The Queen of Groseley, the big Queen show, is on the Saturday night, and that is something to look forward to. A busy Saturday night. Janice Dupal and her contestants over at the Groseley Human Resource Center for Groseley Queen of Carnival, the Carnival Queen show. Also on that night, we'll be seeing the second outing from the Ultimate Soca Tent. They'll be at Gaiety Gardens, and a lot more to be heard on that from Michael Esnad and his team, Ultimate Soca Tent. We are awaiting, as we speak, from the president of the Panorama, the Steel Band Association, the names of the tunes to be played by the different steel bands. We are awaiting that from her, so any of the PAN leaders, PAN members could convey to her that Vaval Central is awaiting her. There's a summons for her to supply the names of the songs to be played. It was promised on the weekend for the composition tunes played by the different bands. You know, Panorama very important to us here at Vaval Central. It was a big success last year, and all the PAN leaders working hard to make it a success again this year. As we said, lots of music to listen to. Interesting, the defense of the title of the monarchy by the Desrel was on. We saw his showing. We'll be getting to that, commenting on it and playing the music in a bit. People like Reddy were there. South Calypso Tent in a strong showing. The likes of T-Blacks. A lot said about T-Blacks and his performance, his song, his rendition, his composition. That too coming up. A lot of Calypso to take in. And we have Manchester, our guest, with his music and his perspective. We're starting with Iwa today. Who are we starting with?
Daika Fontelio.
From the South Calypso Tent.
Some called Youth Man.
Good evening. Put those hands down. This song is for reflection, going out to you, youth man. Say you're bad and you're macho and you just want to take life slow. Say you're out there and you're shooting with ratata in your hands.
Good morning, Vaval Central.
You like it? Serious stuff, you know. So much crime in our place. We're losing young men. I know that you are searching to see where these things start. But every time you're on TV, those stories are continue to pack and run and you like it? Thank you. Good night. Want to come? Serious coming too. I know that you are searching to see where this thing starts. But every time on TV, those stories that break your heart. You rejected godly counsel, and now you must pay the price. Cause our island in trouble, so take my solid advice. May Adam mama you to the west. Can inhale and TV mama miss yes. When the money came in your hands, you never give any correction. So listen to my message, good man turn another page. St. Lucia men must prosper, is you to help me partner. It's time for them killing so we could all live in peace. Let me hear you. Continue to pack and run and move on. Thank you again.
Daika Fontano, youth man, Teddy.
Daika Fontana, always in a good voice, had a great season last year, and again steadying the ship there for the South Calypso tent as we went through. Another person, as we said, persons are messaging like crazy. The two songs they're very interested in, the Defending Monarch and Desrel. He was in the Fire 110. We're getting to that, people. Just be a little patient. They can't wait, Iowa, Manchester, to hear the music, and they're hearing lots about T-Blacks that really got the crowd in an uproar and also in tears. Very emotional performance, emotional for him, and indeed got struck that emotional responsive chord in the audience. You were there, Manchester?
Yeah, I was there. He really performed, and the way he was crying and everything, you know, that is performance. And T-Blacks is somebody to watch. That song about crying and the way he portrayed it.
Yeah.
Look out for T-Blacks.
With hate in a while, let's just be a little patient to the fans. And of course, Desrel is many already, people already. Boy, the T-Blacks coming for Desrel, ready for T-Blacks. But there's a lot more. Don't count out anybody in the competition. The likes of Educator give a good account of themselves. We're coming to that also in a bit. Lots of persons to look for. Ready herself with two strong compositions. Looking forward to that. But we're going again in South Calypso tent, Iowa. Right now, who do we have next, Freddie?
Freddie, track is called I Feel It Too.
Well, I went to Marian home to visit controller. As I sat with him, he started giving me a lecture. You remind me of myself, he said in my head. Every time I jump, it was woman and party. But whenever things are new, Lucian stick to it like glue. But as the shine fades, there goes the glory. So don't run around playing sharp. Stay true to your craft. Because Lucians make a fuss when things brand new. Then they lose interest when it razzles. It's true, I feel it too. They're putting you down like an old shoe.
Good morning, Vaval Central.
It's true, I feel it too. And it don't matter how you impact the life, the memory won't bring it back. It's true, I feel it too. But tell them I don't want your clown, I want your respect. I don't want your clown. And drop the subject. The same ways of the street, the cars is out in the street. You slow down or you lose your spark, they start to ignore you. first when things brand new. Then they lose interest when it dries. It's true, I feel it too. They putting you down like an old shoe, as if you don't have any value. It's true, I feel it too. And it don't matter how you impact the life they memory won't bring it back. It's true, I feel it too. So tell them I don't want your clap, I want your respect. I don't want your clap. And drop the subject.
Freddie, I feel it too. Teddy.
One of the songs that went on very well, getting an encore there. The crowd really appreciated it. And again, we say big up to Tony Wilkinson, Face Calix, and the team making South Calypso tent again very successful. Yeah, the public, they'll go crazy. They could hardly wait for that. The two songs, one from T Blacks and one from Desro, they want to hear them and start comparisons and the different artists ready, and so they want to hear the tunes going forward. And so we in the South Calypso tent, we will go straight to the T Black song. T Blacks, with his composition, he did one, but that one was enough to really send the crowd crazy, and indeed Calypso fans throughout the weekend. I see Calabash TV, big up Bernard Furness for the fantastic work in coverage on Calabash TV, having lots of responses online for posting that song. So Iwa, don't keep them waiting any longer. We'll have Desrel coming up and the Ready and the rest. T Blacks is first, his South tent, they were on first. Here's T Blacks with the song that rocked the audience over the weekend.
Vaval Central.
Salt and sugar. We would go bar and find in a bar. Say, but now we killing each other. No ghetto unity, brother. And whenever why is the question, you hearing his guns. Hey, so I cry for the ghetto. I cry. Why? Cause I cannot comprehend why my friend would kill his friend. Say I cry for the ghetto. Why parents are killed in the street for the crimes their kids commit. Used to pass out their streets ahead, but we remain united. So the ghetto is still my home, no matter where I may roam. So there is something wrong, something back in tongue. Maybe in our hearts, it's not love divine. There is something wrong, nothing kept us down. When we were deprived, found ways to survive. So to unravel, to get to trouble. Guns don't kill people, people kill people. Hey.
Vaval Central.
Yeah. Oh, God. I said the ghetto, I know, didn't have killing. Oh no, we had differences, differences, but since then money and please, I had no jealousy. When hungry and from the neighbor tree, all of a sudden now there's distrust. We're up in arms fighting so vicious. ghetto. I cry. Why I? Cause I cannot comprehend why my friend would kill his friend. See, I cry for the ghetto. I cry. Why I? Parents are killing in the streets for the crime the kids commit. Used to force out their streets ahead, but we revenge united. So the ghetto is still my home, no matter where I'm around. So there is something wrong, something wagging tongue. Maybe in our hearts, it's like love divine. There is something wrong, nothing kept us down. When we were deprived, one was to survive. So to unravel, we get to trouble. Guns, people kill people.
Vaval Central, Teddy.
T-Blacks getting, not surprisingly, predictably, the encore there for a fantastic performance that blew the crowd away. You heard Donaville getting excited in his South Calypso euphoria about him coming for Desreal and building up the rivalry. When he said that, Manchester next to me, hey, he saying that?
Yeah, when I heard that, boy, because I know you have to be very brave to say something like that, because you know that could cause some controversy. Desreal has his fans, T-Blacks has his fans, so you know that is controversy. But you know, you never know what could happen.
The MC has his license within his tent, trying to hype up his artists.
You can't blame him. He's from the South tent. He's supporting his tent. He says, hey,
right.
Desreal.
Once he reverts to MC in the national competitions, of course.
Yes. When it's a competition, there are judges. He will not say that.
Right.
Yeah.
But in the hype, and certainly Desreal, who came in the following night, aware that he's defending the crown. A very challenging composition with a lot to say, and I thought, like last year, really commending Desrel for handling all these lyrics and all these verses, lots of verses, sounded like about 4 or 5 verses in his first outing, and handled it well. Interesting topic, not totally unrelated to the topic by T-Black. T-Black speaking about how the lack of loving among neighbors and countrymen has led to the violence and the bloodshed. And so it is part of the topic being dealt with by Desrel, the reigning Calypso monarch. He was in the Fire One tent. As we see, good morning to all the followers on all the platforms, IG Live, also on the Carnival St. Lucia, the live platform, the Facebook Live, reminding all persons the build-up to the school's Calypso is on. Groseley Carnival is this weekend on Sunday. Lots of action building up. Ultimate Soca Tent is on Saturday. Queen of Groseley is on Saturday, the Carnival Queen Show. The Carnival really heating up, and the likes of Sister Rock and Hardly Wait as Soufre, Dennery, St. Lucia, really boiling point now when it comes to the Carnival. But Desrel is the reigning monarch. Here's how he sounded on his first outing. He did get the encore from the crowd. In the end, Desrel, the reigning monarch, Fire One tent.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for coming and support Fire One once more. Bruceville, I met this sad young man born in Bruceville, and he living there still. Stand still. He demand I stand and listen how life went downhill. For the folks of Bruceville, to protect this young man's identity, let's keep this between you and me. I just call him Bruce. I know he spoke the truth. Bruce told me Desrel, we live in fear, and fear has blinded the people there. That's the worst weapon. Our eyes cannot function, so the gang lords fighting and the hitmen striking. None of us don't see homicides in front of we. Bazudi, the killers have no identity. They kill with impunity. We grant them immunity. No witnesses seen. No one there reported. We see but we afraid to tell. Our nose will have to smell the filthy killers. We should spell their odors. Whoever knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who shot that baby, say something. Say something. Whoever knows somebody who knows somebody who take the smell of them bullet zombies, say something. Say something. For Bruceville's sake, there's so much at stake. They go call you a snitch, drag your name in the ditch. Oh Lord, you can support a evil son of a.
Morning, Vaval Central.
For his financial position, Matlick was his mission. His fishing boat slipped in at night. Not many fish, but that's alright. The real cargo was metal and euro. The metal glistened black and cold. And Bruce, he listened. 4 years old, he could smell the assassins as they walked right past him. They were his father's partners, carrying out his orders, killing everywhere. His rivals appear, they didn't care, making Bruceville tremble with fear. They kill with impunity, we grant them immunity. No witnesses seen, no one there reporting. We see but we afraid to tell, so our nose will have to smell the filthy killers. We should smell their odors. Whoever knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who killing grannies, say something. Say something. Whoever knows somebody who knows somebody who smells the stench of them bullet zombies, say something. Say something. so much at stake. They go call you a snitch, drag your name in the ditch. Oh Lord, can't support a wicked son of a. Found himself in woeful sadness, no more joyful gladness. Badness, how we found the temptation to turn to badness when he became dadless. One day Bruce came back home from school, his father lying in a pool of blood on the pavement that caused his mother's derangement. Police were called and they reached late. They said no point investigate, there is never a witness, so it's not in their interest. While the killers looking, with their weapons smoking, wearing conspicuous clothes, with all their face exposed, the record shows the killing right under Bruceville nose. They kill with impunity, we grant them immunity. No witnesses seeing, no one there reporting. We see but we afraid to tell. Our nose will have to smell the filthy killers. We should smell their odors. Whoever knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who kills somebody, say something. Say something. Whoever knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who kills somebody, say something. Say something for Lucia's sake. There's so much at stake. They go call you a snitch, drag your name in the ditch. Oh Lord, can't support them evil sons of a.
That's right on Vaval Central. Bruceville knows Teddy.
Interesting indeed. Of course, as was the case with the night before with T Blacks, he did get the encore. Your thoughts, Iwa and Manchester?
Oh yeah, the themes are close.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you, people have to look out for this one as well. Because with that team he has behind him, with the Sion and the Pep and the St. Thomas, these people, especially the St. Thomas, they know how to create a visual impression on the people. They know it's because let me tell you something. The final is not only about audio, about what you are singing, what people are seeing. And that is how Pep has been able to win that crown time after time, because he knows how to create a spectacle.
Your thoughts, Iwa?
I think that we're in for a very good competition. T Blacks, I've seen him perform, and again, we could see what he's capable of doing, right? Crying and saying, really bringing out the song, and I don't think Desra will be left behind with regards to performance as well, with Sion and Pep behind him. I think we're in for a very, very good competition. So far, I can't say who has the edge over. There's so many other artists to perform. I'm still waiting for some of my favorite Calypsonians as well that I haven't heard from. We'll be playing them in a bit, but I think so far we're in for a good competition.
Right, interesting comments, as you say. And it's early days, you have to remember it's two tunes. We're hearing one tune from each Calypsonian. Many Calypsonians have been outstanding throughout the tents. There are lots of, and again, the emphasis on fresh young talent. The number of young artists and new artists who are featuring and holding their own is really, really astounding for the art form. That tsunami of fresh new talent.
Yes.
For years we've been lamenting it's the same old names, the shareholders dominating, they predict the finalists every year. The young wave are really proving, earning their spurs and acquitting themselves well. Looking forward to that. So we're going there, and speaking of different generations, while the youngsters are making their mark, the likes of Educator. And I want to make a point before we go in there about different artists. there have been a couple issues with clarity, and so this season, one has to say that there's been an issue, but in the 10 sometimes the clarity is not the best with the artists coming after until about the first verse. I guess that will be worked on and needs to be dealt with separately. That has been an issue so far. Part of the factor, acoustic sound and so on would be a factor, but a part of the factor, what has struck me, and I discussed it with a few musicians, Manchester's here, the word from a few musicians, including Gregory Piper, who is himself an arranger. His word was that, in a nutshell, a number of the artists, particularly the newer ones, are singing in a key that's too low, and so making them sound muffled and affecting their projection. You're a musician. Have you observed any such thing, Manchester?
Yes, I have observed that, and it is very clear when a song is too low for the artist. I understand as a musician, as a piano player, and I understand as an artist on stage as well. I remember back in the day when I just started, I was so surprised when I first got on stage to do a song. I was doing a song called Margie You Talking, and I thought there was a problem with the band. I thought the band was shortchanging me, not realizing that key you practicing at home. When you're making that song at home, it sounds fine because you're calm and relaxed.
Almost a whisper.
Almost a whisper at home. But when you're on stage, there's more energy, and the key sometimes needs to be a little higher. I noticed that a lot of the artists, the songs, no disrespect to anybody, but it can happen to anyone. The songs are a bit too low. Okay. And if they just raise, that is the trick. Let me tell you, a lot of people may not tell the artist that because they are competing, but I'm telling you, check your song, and I spoke to one or two artists, and raise it a little up a notch, let's say a semitone or a tone higher, so that you will project and the audience will hear what you sing. Another thing is, if it's too low, people cannot sing along. People don't want to sing along if they're not hearing themselves. So if it's too low, it's so low, people are not hearing themselves. Who will sing? But if it's higher, they're hearing themselves and they will sing along. So all of these are things you could add to the music when you're creating the music and when you're arranging it for live performance. One
of our foremost musicians, composers, certainly arrangers, Piper, agrees with your point, Gregory Piper, that he's advocating and advising when they're doing the demos to ensure that they don't record it too low, and as you say, in a little whisper, try to get to that higher that higher key, and then it would serve them better. He made that point. Yes. And your point is, his point is very instructive about the sing-along, that psychologically and otherwise, that the higher pitch always key lends itself better to the crowd joining in sing-along.
Absolutely, because they want to hear themselves. People want to hear themselves. They want to party. If it's too low, don't look for that.
Interesting point from a musician of competence, Iwa. You know, here we don't pretend to have all the competencies, and we like to have authority. That's why he spoke to Piper and people like Bohingston, and indeed Manchester about that key.
And I want to say one more thing. Artists like T.C. Brown, they sing in a lower register, so that is all right. If the key is low, T.C. will excel
vocal ability,
because of his vocal ability, and he's lower, he's down there, he has a baritone voice.
Right.
The late Lebo was another, may rest in peace. Lebo was very good at that. I think also there's this new artist, what's his name? Hogan,
right. He handles it well.
He has this low, but the females, men, we are
right.
lower pitched. But the females, I saw one or two female artists in one particular tent. Even in the South tent, I can say it, and it was too low, so it can go up a bit. I spoke to, it can go up a bit. All of this is, positive advice.
Process.
It's not a negative.
Well, there are people who competent, the likes of Physicality, have observed Tony Wilkinson, an accomplished musician, trained musician. I'm sure they will address it. But it's a good point coming from you, a respected musician, and understands, and Gregory Piper concurring there in that point. One other point too, as we go through, I'm ready. I want to make a point to the organizers of the Fire One. I was very disappointed. They're normally very competent, very organized, the likes of Cheryl and a team. So I don't know who's responsible for the order and so, but I just didn't think it wise for one of the best hopes, the best prospects ready to be sent almost in the guinea pig role. I mean, it's 101 in showbiz, in productions, that you don't send your key artist when the sound has not been sorted out, and she really suffered. She was a casualty. It was terrible at the start, trying to balance the sound, get the sound going. There's feedback and so on. She suffered to the extent, Iwa, we don't even have the recording of a song this morning. is not even among the songs sent our way this morning. So it's just advice. I thought both in first and second round, you saw South Calypso 10 doing it, a number of the 10s do it. They virtually send a guinea pig, either a young talent from the schools or a guest artist who's not really in the fray of competition, so that you get everything sorted. It becomes a sound check effectively.
Yeah, and also, you're not shortchanging that artist because people don't expect as much for the opening act. So if you send, let's quote unquote, a weaker act, then people will embrace them even more. Try to get that person to close the show, and it's a problem. I know in the days of CD, you put your first song first because you want to make that impression, but...
that likely part of the thinking of the 10 to get the big impression, but that doesn't prick through. I saw Tony Wilkins do it well. He had a young talent, as you see, the crowd very forgiving, and very supportive. They're there, and so your first big act comes after. It was unfair to Reddy to send her in there. And again in the second half, I saw Reddy, to be first in the second half, people still settling down from their meals, their snacks, their drinks. They're not focused yet. So her first 2 verses, they won't even focus.
You see, that sounding good to me because Reddy is one of my favorite Calypsonians.
Yeah, it's something.
You asked me about Desral and T Blacks is ready.
Ready, baby.
Well, and I said the 10th is normally very competent, very organized. They would admit now that it was an error and something worth rethinking to get the order right. You don't put one of your key artists the absolute first. There are always issues recognized in showbiz and production to be sorted, and so you don't put them at that risk. You save them at least for number 3, number 4, when things are all sorted out and to get there. And in the second round too, there's a concentration focus. You want the crowd are returning from the break. They suddenly realize the show is back on. They get in their seats, they grab it, finishing their snacks, rushing, and so the distraction is heavy there. Sometimes you put even a Manchester who doing the soca could have started the second round because he has time to develop and time to catch in. He's not key to the Calypso competition and such, and so that would in fact be wise. But as I say, the team are normally they were organized, and I want to compliment them. Good morning to Cheryl in particular. As I say, they always normally competent. She started on time and reminded me they were one of maybe the only 10 so far starting bang on time with no delay. They started bang on time. They were ready in every sense of the word. They were totally ready.
Pun intended or no pun.
So we go ahead. So Cheryl, kudos, as I say, to a good show, but just a mind for Reddy, who's Iwa's favorite artist. Let's not have her in the guinea pig role as far as sound and so concerned. Lessons for all of us going forward. So we are now going on to the same Fire 110th. Educator he came out firing on that night. Educator, he's a man. There are a few artists. Her Black Educator. Talk about all your sound system, your feedback, your acoustics. What you could have an old Rakaka sound system. They clear like daylight.
You hear every word,
the timing. The likes of Educator, they belting it and Her Black and so sound system can't stop them at all.
And he got an encore.
He did. Yeah. Potasogi's Educator. Here's how he sounded.
Protecting the victory.
protect your victory. That's the only way. That's the only way to protect your victory. That's the only way. One self-care is for some and not all. Nothing is protected at all, at all, at all. After all that hype you giving me gripe, I really believe sweet justice I would have received. Couldn't wait to see guy in custody, and by heaven's grace you'd wipe the smile off his face. Them criminologists tell you straight, most crime solves in different 48. What you waiting for? Some say apple when more. While down here the crime rate escalates, you are hosting party delegates. You too fast. You too fast. You were victorious in the last election, it's true. So I'm waiting for all the things you said you would do to protect your victory. Certain things I must see. Guy rotting in jail without any bail. To protect your victory, put Shas in custody until he agreed to return the vaccine money. That's the only way to protect your victory. That's the only way. That's the only way to protect your victory. That's the only way. One yellow man still makes my skin crawl. Nothing is protected at all, at all, at all.
Educator on Vaval Central, protecting the victory. Teddy?
Potato Geese, and we'll be hearing a lot more from him, of course, throughout the day on RCI belting the calypsos right through, and soca music. We have Manchester here on his IG Live with people around the world tuning in to Vaval Central. You said one of your favorite artists is Ready. As you said, the first song got compromised sound-wise. Her second offering is one rich with music. Manchester himself was saying so. Ready, known too for her projection and her powerful vocals. Your artist, one of your favorites, you said, Iwa.
Yes.
What you singing this year in the second one?
Take a bow.
Her first song was, in fact, Destination, interesting commentary on tourism and our approach to tourism and prioritizing tourism over a number of other needs. But the second one is Take a Bow.
Take a bow.
charge for the hungry. You the greatest country on earth. Give this woman worth. Take a bow. Take it now. You the greatest country on earth. More than life you worth. Take a bow. Take it now, right now. And yes, you're scandal and bacchanal, but through it all you give your all. You the greatest country on earth. More than life you worth. Take a bow. Take it now, right now. Take a bow.
They might get a disappointment, sir.
No, that's a powerful song, a big
That is
song.
a powerful song, and I want to interject because I was there partying like it's a soca monarch, you know.
No,
You know,
big
deep
song.
lyrics.
Yeah.
But-
And Poppy his sponsor SLDB coming again this year in the Nation Building. He decide not Nation Building price you have. Well, I'm taking that early. He decide he writing that. But I want the music in that one. Woo.
Yes.
Solid.
Really good. And you can see.
Where's then? And again, you mentioned the high note.
Yeah,
remember?
you notice when she went up there in the higher register, you could hear clearly. Now, we're not saying everybody should sing up there,
Right.
you know, but we're just saying that sometimes it can be a little too low for some of the artists.
But the likes of Minel, you mentioned this wrong. Minel handled even low, even when she went low, she handled it, was able to project and so on.
Mina is a master. A lot of people don't know. Mina sings all genres of music. You know, Mina has sung at the hotels. Mina is very
the
good, and
range.
she has really mastered. And her range is.
That's the other thing too. I'm not an expert musician, not pretending to be, but the issue of range. People like Educator, the range.
Yes.
Am I correct?
Some singers have more range than others.
Mm-hmm.
Like a singer like, oh my, I was thinking of an international singer. I can't recall her name right now, but some singers,
But I don't
like
find,
you see,
like an Educator, not bad.
Educator is very good. Educator could, he has, you see, like when we say range, we're talking about they can go very low and you can still hear them,
Right.
and they can go up there in the higher register. And yeah,
And still
I
be
remember it reminds me of when I sang We Making Love, Angus. I remember Angus telling me, boy, he was watching me the entire season because there, when I say, let me see your hands now, that high note there, he say, boy, he was watching me to see if I'd be able to do that for the entire season. So I just, So that's what we're talking about, range. You know, some artists, like the difference between the low, singing low, down there and going high up there, yes.
You learning
For the
things
benefit, for the benefit
you
of the
learn things on
listeners.
Vaval Central, you know.
Yes. Oh yes, this is the University of Soca
Carnival.
and Calypso and Carnival.
Yeah. I have you have a break to take and then your time check and then we coming back.
Yes. Time is now 2 minutes after 9 o'clock, and this time check is made possible by Ferrance Foods. And Vaval Central and RCI is made possible with the kind compliments of the Carnival Music Management Committee, Carnival Planning Management Committee, Carnival Music Management Committee, Stamina Energy Drink, and Blue Waters.
I'm feeling for something special, something good, something tasty, something smooth. When I think about all the flavors I can savor, I gotta have Ferrance ice cream.
I wanna have, I need to have a flavor that makes me glad. But the way I feel, it must be Ferrance ice cream. Chocolate coated ice cream bars, creamsicles I gotta have. Give me some fat free yogurt, I need
Ferrance ice cream.
Ferrance ice cream.
It's so delicious. Ferrance ice cream. Ferrance tastes so good. Ferrance ice cream. Whoa, I gotta have it. 'Cause only the best will do.
Ferrance ice cream, bringing back delicious memories.
With outlets from Gros Lake to Soufriere, W-Mart is indeed your community shop. Giving you the best prices and widest variety, we've got everything you need. Chicken, turkey, beef and pork, saltfish, pigtail, ham, all in stock. Delicious franks, nuggets, cheese and fries. Prices you can't beat and quality for sure. With 9 locations island-wide, W Mart is your one-stop family meat shop. W Mart, small store, big convenience.
Shop W Mart, W Mart, W Mart. Somewhere between cerulean blue and golden yellow is a color called Lucian Carnival. The color of rhythm, the color of artistry, the color of revelry. From duvet to jump up, from festival to fete, from mass to music, our soul, our heartbeat, our vibe. Answer the call to color. Lucian Carnival, July 7th to 19th, 2023. Nothing sweeter than our Vaval. You're welcome.
Stamina Energy. Rise to the occasion.
Energy starts here. Yo, stamina energy. It's the what I'm gonna energy. It's the what I'm gonna energy. It's the truth to keep me pumping, baby. To keep me moving. To keep me grooving. To keep me pumping. All night and day. Energy right. To go all night. It's stamina energy. Can't give me life.
Stamina Energy. Rise to the occasion.
Patrice again. I go drink blue waters and mind my business. I go drink blue waters and mind my business. Who me? I only drink one brand. Blue waters inside the house and the barn. When I need to hydrate, I drink blue waters. I'm feeling great. When you see we out on the road and we going hard, take a sip of blue waters. That's the #1 brand. Drink blue waters and mind my business. I go drink blue waters and mind my business. Me and you join in the blue water crew. The taste, the vibe, blue waters is the truth. When the hot sun come, I drink blue waters to cool me down. When you see we out on the road and we going hard, take a sip of blue waters. That's the #1. I go drink blue waters and mind my business.
Welcome back, Vaval Central on the Caribbean sound. Teddy?
W Mart, it's been nice to us. We have to acknowledge W Mart with all the weekly specials, Iwa.
W Mart. Absolutely.
But you have me hooked on that W Mart now. You have me going there, Iwa.
Yeah, and I could just tell you quickly, specials for this week, chicken backs, they have $2.10 a pound. Chicken whole legs, $4.99 a pound. Chicken drumsticks are $3.99. And they've got pork loin for $6.99 a pound. Local mixed parts is $4.75. And saltfish, $12.99 a pound at W Mart.
In town and where they? North or town, Iwa?
Well, they're all over the place. They're at Soufriere, Labrie, Viewfort, Micoud, Richford, Denry, in Castries, Barbano, Grosley, and Bois-de-Vache as well.
North. They're in business, Iwa. W Mart.
W Mart.
Yeah. As you said, Iwa, thanks to W Mart, we're into the time now. We're going to touch Manchester Castleboy in a while. What's the new tune that he was very good in the 10 tune, Iwa? In all the guys, so the people embracing soca, you know.
Again came down good.
Yeah, it
came
right again. Remember the double OECS Soca Monarch? A man who win 2 OECS and never win the local Soca Monarch. Interesting,
yeah.
eh?
Yeah, man.
Big tunes through the years, you know. When he started,
let me tell you, it reminds me of SMC, you know. Anyway, we don't have much time, so we'll talk about that.
But he coming back on the program, but he really did well. He really was well placed by the Fire 110th. It's a good choice to use him, and he really came down well. The crowd embraced him, and he added to the cast a lot as we're going through.
Thank you.
As we said, we'll run his tune and reminding everybody today is the final day. You submit your tunes already?
Yeah, boy, I submitted my tunes, you know.
Power and Groovy?
Yeah.
Right. So the final day, the end of the day today is the deadline for submitting the tunes for Soca Monarch. You have some tunes in, Iwa, co-writer?
Yes.
Right. Co-writer, ghostwriter. Yeah, I have some tunes inside. When everybody to submit the tunes today, Power and Groovy. The instructions have been clear and all over the place, Manchester. Go to Carnival St. Lucia, the website, and so for instructions, event St. Lucia, as we go with the entry for the big Soca Monarch promising to be big this year. You've seen that. Big tunes, big names. Ninja Dan is on our program this week. He's back in. C. Dale is in. We heard here on our program that HP is back in the competition. Alpha Ale is back in the competition. So a lot to look forward to. And the fantastic young talent, T Blacks, reconsidering and dropping. In fact, he's dropping tomorrow on this program, dropping his tune tomorrow, Iowa. So we're looking to exciting Soca Monarch. The dipping for the school's Calypso is in a while at the Financial Center. The serious Iowa, they're having the dipping to see what position they'll be performing on Friday. And as we said, Grosily, you passing through Grosily on Sunday. Come and touch on one or two of the trucks on Grosily. We go in there, Iwa. That'll be your first Grosily Carnival, Iwa. I never see you there before. You passing through? I never see you there. You passing through this time. Yeah. If Iwa coming through, you know it's big. Grosily Carnival on Sunday over in Grosily. So tomorrow, as they say, we have lots of action. Bumper today was listening there, Iwa. We had them to calm down and listen to the tunes. The public really loving it. I think the next set of Calypso tends to be Ram. They won't have space for people. The fever is on in the Kai. So big up to, as I said, Cheryl and her team. A well-run 5-on-1 tent, well executed, starting on time. They're known for that, whether it be the jazz events or the Calypso events, well organized. And that was the case again. Don't certainly the punctuality, and also South Calypso tent, very tightly run, well executed Calypso tent. We ending with the tune from Manchester, Iowa.
Again, on Vaval Central.
Again, because he coming back on the program again, right?
Again, yeah.
That's right.
Right, run it. Tomorrow 8 o'clock.
I felt in again, I play in again. Carnival is here again. I jump in again, I felt in again, I play in again. It's carnival time, so let we jump and mash up the place again. Wave and mash up the place again. Wine and mash up the place, mash up the place, mash up the place again. Jump and mash up the place again. I jump in again, I felt in again, I play in again. Carnival is here again. I jump in again, I felt in again, I play in again. It's carnival time, so let we jump and mash up the place again. Wave and mash up the place again. Wine and mash up the place, mash up the place, mash up the place again. Jump and mash up the place again. Wave and mash up the place again. Wine and mash up the place, mash up the place, mash up the place. Sometimes I feel like I was born to play mass. Can't miss the action. Stand and watch a truck pass. Went to the doctor for some medication. So now she checked me. Her explanation. Soca in my blood, fat in my DNA. Not a fault at all. God create me this way. Each time I play mass, I just feel so fulfilled. And since it come again, you don't know the deal. I jump in again, I fat in again, I play in again. Carnival is here again. I jump in again, I fat in again, I play in again. It's carnival time, so let we jump and mash up the place again. Wave and mash up the place again. Wine and mash up the place, mash up the place, mash up the place again. Jump and mash up the place again. Wave and mash up the place again. Wine and mash up the place, mash up the place, mash up the place. You only live once, no one knows when they'll die. Who knows our future? Only God way up high. So like Ruby say, enjoy yourself for mass, cause you never know, it may well be your last. Many of our friends who were jumping last year, it is sad to say, they're not with us this year. So let's give thanks for life, let good vibes multiply. And while we have this chance, this year carnival, I jump in again, I felt in again, I play in again. Carnival is here again. I jump in again, I felt in again, I play in again. It's carnival time, so let we jump and mash up the place again. Wave and mash up the place again. Wine and mash up the place, mash up the place, mash up the place again. Jump and mash up the place again. Wave and mash up the place again. Wine and mash up the place, mash up the place. Oh, there we go. The big truck coming down. The big truck coming down. The big truck coming down. Take a wave up, take a wave up. The people coming down. Jump up. The people coming down.